What is up, everyone? Here's Damien. Hope you're doing well. So today we're going to be talking about resin, how to manage it. So you start playing Genshin Impact. Genshin, as you know, has several types of currencies, one of them being original resin. Resin regens 1 for every 8 minutes, which means with the current system it reaches 120 current cap in 16 hours. And after patch 1.1, it will reach the cap 116 resin in about 21.3 hours, if everything goes as the developers had mentioned. Before we get to where to use your resin, I will tell you how I manage my time and resin. Essentially, I wait 16 hours or so for the resin to nearly reach the cap. After all the resin is spent, I will wait around 160 minutes, about 2 hours and 40 minutes, till I spend another 40 resin. Currently, resin is the most valuable type of currency in-game. It is used to level weapons, characters, and your account level, your adventure level. So at this point, if you're playing the game, you're thinking, but Demi, there's too many places to spend resin, and the resin takes too long to regen. I agree 100%, but since it does not seem like the devs are gonna revamp this system anytime soon, even though they have mentioned that they're thinking about it, it is important to know where to invest your resin with the current system. So what to prioritize? Where should I spend my resin every day? Keep in mind, before this question is answered, you should have at least 2 characters you will want to invest in for the long term. If you want to be minimally efficient in the game, you'll have to prioritize at the start around 2 characters. I'm taking into account you might want to start doing Abyss up to at least floor 9. If you want to see floor 5 to 9 and also 10, you can check my playlist for each floor on my YouTube channel, link down below. So let's go to what to focus on with your resin. So first thing you should do is level up your weapon. Focus all your resin getting materials to ascend your weapon. As you can see here, I have my weapon on my main character, which is one of the ones I use the most, on max. You can see it's completely maxed out. This is very important. Make sure that your weapon at least 4-star. In this case, you can see that the weapon I'm using is a 4-star. This is the weapon that you can craft from the materials you get from the weekly bosses, and is definitely very useful. And even as a free-to-player, if you have not spent a single cent in the game, which I pretty much did till this week when I bought the battle pass, it is one of the best weapons you can get without requiring that much RNG, because RNG in this game is just a thing that exists, but this obviously is one of the ones you can normally get in almost every single account. So be sure you have a 4-star weapon or a 5-star weapon to get as high base attack as possible. Secondary stat to the attack is always a bonus as well, so in this case this weapon gives me damage per each time I attack with a normal hit, but this is not the most important thing to take into account, especially if you're starting, especially if you don't want to spend any money in the game. Also, if you're wondering, but Demi, how can I level up my weapon? Well, you can go to Enhance, and pretty much you can go to Ascend, and you'll be able to see what kind of materials you need. In this case, the type of materials that you'll need will be for this weapon at the level from 80 to Ascend. In order to go to level 90, I will need Mist-Veiled Primal Elixir. Where can I get this material, for example? And this is the same system for every single ascending material in the game. You can pretty much go here to the source and you check which domain it's part on. You can see the domain is not available, but it says in Sunday it's available. So if I press it, it will show me all the ones that are available. I do not advise to do it on Sunday, because if you do it on Sunday, as you can see, there's a lot more items in the pool, which means that you may not get that specific item that you actually need. Try to stay on this first one, not on the Sunday one, because the Sunday one is that also always has the biggest pool, and this one only has this specific type of item. Lower tiers, even if that's the case, you can always craft those lower tiers into higher tiers and then eventually use it to ascend your weapon. So make sure you level up your weapon. Second thing to keep in mind, level up your character. Focus on farming the materials to ascend your character. Every time you max out your character, you might not think that leveling a character makes a big difference, but having a character that is level 60 fighting level 70 mobs is a lot harder than using your character level 80 to fight level 70 mob. This will make you a big difference. The same thing applies as the weapon. You can go here and you can, once you've reached the cap of the current state that you're in this case my Mona's case is level 80, you can go to Ascend and you can see which materials I'm gonna require in order to ascend. Same thing goes for what I said before with the weapon. You can always check the source where you get the materials that are required. Remember, Leveling the character is one of the most important, it's the second most important thing you can invest your resin in. Character level makes a huge difference. It increases every single stat you have. In the case of Mona, you can see that it increases HP, defense, attack, and energy recharge. All of this is very important. Every little stat at the point that I am is gonna make a huge difference in how much damage I do, and how much energy recharge, how much energy I get back in order to have more burst or ultimate abilities. How much attack I'm gonna do, how much tankier I'm gonna be. Every single little thing makes a difference. So be sure to level your characters. If you think you've hit the wall and you still have your characters to level up, you'll see that leveling the characters will make a big difference. So level up your characters. So your third option depends a bit on the availability you have of the materials. You can pick to level up your current artifacts of your character talents. Both are important, but one is more permanent than the other. In the case of talents, you can only get materials for certain characters on certain days of the week. Therefore, you can not farm anytime you want, just because you have resin. So you may have 120 resin, does not mean that in that specific day you can farm the required material to increase your talent level. For example, if I check right now my highest level talent on Bennett, you will see that I require this item, which is Devlin's Plume, which I can only get if I have the weekly quest available. Or I can go for Resistance, which is only on specific days, and I can only farm it on Sundays, Tuesdays, or Fridays. Today, actually, it is Sunday, the day I'm making this video, but as I said before, it is not worth to go for materials on Sunday, because there's way too much of a variety of pull items that you can get, which means that instead of getting a resistance item, I might get a book, a guide to freedom, or a guide to ballad, which obviously is not what I want when trying to level up the talents for Bennett. The reason talents are important, it's because it increases your character stats permanently on your character's skill, burst skill, or even normal attack. Therefore, it's a one-time investment for every level up. That percentage increase of damage is actually quite high. You go check, for example, on my normal attack, which I don't have the materials for, the percentage is about 9% on the 5-hit damage. So that is permanent 9% damage I get from doing normal attacks on my character. So this is actually permanent for the character. Any upgrade you do on talents are permanent for character, being for the skill, being for your burst skill. Any thing that you can level up here is always majorly worth to do, because in the long term, this is one of the best investments you can do on your character. So remember to level up your talents. If you're thinking if you should level up your talents, yes, level up your talents. So the last and final one, when it comes to artifacts, it's one of the easiest things to level up at the start of the game. But there's a high chance you'll be messing around with the artifacts a lot. Artifacts farming with resin only becomes really worth for min-maxing after adventure level 40. Since after adventure level 40 is when you have legendary drop chances available in domain. So if we check my characters here, you can see some of the items that I farmed in domains after I reach legendary level 40. Do keep in mind at adventure rank 40, you are available to get legendaries from domains, even though the chance is quite low, but the higher you get, every 5 levels you get after that, it will increase your chance of getting legendary items by a lot. At 45, I am told that the chance is quite big to get legendaries. You can even get more than one, which currently at my adventure level 43, I am not really able to get more than one. So I'm actually very excited to get level 45, so we can actually get that legendary grind on. My fast and generic tip, without getting into specific, get 4-star or 5-star artifacts with percentage attack. Worry about specific and rarer stats when you have a bigger pool or more consistent number of artifacts daily. So for example, I can actually start doing that, because as you can see, if we go to my items here, I have a big pool of legendary items that I can choose from and try to make certain more specific builds. But if you're like many people and you only have, let's say, 4 or 5 legendaries, do not worry about that, just level it up. If you have a basic attack stat on your legendary, Don't worry about getting elemental for now. Just level up your legendary artifact to max, because that will still give you a big boost regardless of what character you're using, because percentage attack is just overall a decent stat to have on your items. So if you want to use your resin to farm artifacts in domains that are above level 40, you can do that, but I would say that is the last thing you should focus. If you have not checked the list on every single other option I've mentioned, then you should not be wasting your resin on artifact domain. So that's pretty much it, guys. I feel like a lot of people like me get to the game once if you start playing it every day, and you get to the point where you're like, what am I gonna spend my resin on today? What should I do? And I feel like this is a very clear and concise guide of four or five different things you can actually do in order to help you with Mona, can you shut up? In order to help you with where to spend your resin on every day and still get some progression done in your character. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I haven't made a video like, I haven't made guided videos or anything like that in this game before because I didn't feel like making one up, but I feel like I got the motivation to make this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are wondering why do I make more content, I try to make at least one video a week on YouTube, and I do stream from Tuesday to Saturday for about 6 hours on Twitch. We do play a lot of Genshin, so if you guys want to hop there, I'll see you guys there. Have a nice one, guys. Stay safe, use your mask when you go outside, and see you on the next one. I don't have a dog, but
Come here, go!
Bah.
I'll milk you!
Bah.
I'll milk you dry, you damn dirty lamb!
Demi's like, no, Ahmed, leave me alone.